Hi, I'm Dan, and welcome back to the Rock Nerd Radio Show here on YouTube. Today, we're going to be playing a game of which is better. We're going to be comparing two Carol Danvers figures.
Come geek out with us on the Rock Nerd Radio Show.
So, like I said, this is a Carol Danvers which is better, but we're not looking at Carol Danvers in her Captain Marvel guise. No, before she looked like this, she looked like this, and also went by the name Warbird. So coming to us from the year 2014 from a Target exclusive 3-pack, which consisted of Warbird, also known as Miss Marvel, Radioactive Man, and Captain America. This is the first Miss Marvel, or Warbird, that we will be looking at, and we will be comparing her to the new 2024 Target exclusive Warbird, also again known as Miss Marvel. But we are going to take this version of Carol out because we don't need her for the rest of this review. But my first round, as always, is about the paint and overall appearance of these figures. So let's look at our 2014 version first. This version of Miss Marvel, like I said, came to us in a Target exclusive 3-pack. It is on the female body that Hasbro used for quite some time for our powerhouse female characters. And, you know, there are certain curves on her that might not be as accented as they are now on other characters. But she didn't look bad for the time. She looked pretty good. One thing that I always found a little boring with this character was the head sculpt. I felt like it's just, you know, the face looks a little meh. The hair is just kind of there. And I feel like maybe we can talk about that in a different way. But one thing to point out was that it did have single jointed elbows, and we will talk about this more in the articulation, but it did lead to some kind of weird looking arm bends there. And again, not the worst, but you know, paint apps were pretty clean. Nice gold lightning bolt symbol on her. Mine actually has some paint rub there, but if you just bend the chest forward, you don't really see the paint rub. But you know, you can line up the symbol, it looks fine. The sash was a reuse from, I want to say, the Phoenix mold sash, so you can kind of turn it however you want. It seems to sit better when the tassels are kind of going in the back there. But you know, the leg piece coming up, the leggings, they kind of do have a point, but it is painted off to the side, which I don't believe is fully accurate to how the character looked. But the costume definitely does look more like a bikini. You know, there is more skin showing here as the costume goes down her body, you know, and that is the same on all sides. So a little more revealing, perhaps, but cut out there, you know, around the top of her body as well, showing that you know, it is like a one piece that she's wearing. So overall, it didn't look terrible. You know, I wasn't clamoring necessarily for an update on this figure, but the new one, who I'm going to bring in now, I feel the lightning bolt looks a little snazzier. It looks, you know, a little more dynamic, which is it's kind of difficult to say because, like, looking at them, like, they're still there, but the new one, it almost looks sharper, which I dig. It looks a little brighter. One thing to talk about is that this head sculpt in particular has some movement to the hair. It does look like it's kind of blowing. It's not just like sitting there. There is a second head sculpt, which we will talk about later on, but more of an expression on her face, and the hair, again, you know, kind of just sitting, but gives you more of a you know, just expression to her. So it makes the head sculpt look a little more lively. The sash this time is, you know, it sits the way that it does. The tassels are in the back, and you know, if you want to twist it, it might not look that good. So you know, I kind of have it going like this. But looking at the costume, you know, everything that I said kind of holds true here. This is on that Black Widow body for the most part, so you do have a little bit of some gappage here on the arm, but it's still, you know, her costume still looks like a one-piece bikini because you do have the skin showing that goes through on the arms, and you still have some skin showing, although not as much, you know, around the bottom of the bikini there. I do like how the leggings have more of a point here, which actually is also, it looks like it would almost be part of the articulation because these are sculpted lines, but the articulation is right under it, so it doesn't even break up that look when you go to pose her, which I kind of dig. I will say the new one does seem a little shorter when compared to the 2014 one. Like if you stand them back to back, there's just a slight height difference. Do I think it's terrible? No, not really. But overall, if I had to compare these two for my first round, which again is that just paint and overall appearance, I think I definitely have to give it to the new one. And even though I have a little paint and blemish there on her arm, you can see it, it's not going to make or break this figure. And that again is just my copy. I doubt that's on every single one. So yeah, in terms of paint and overall appearance, I think our new 2024 one just looks a little more dynamic. So she's going to win this round. For round 2, we are talking articulation, and the first Warbird from the 2014 Miss Marvel set does have her head on her ball joint, but this hair really gets in the way. You really cannot move the head. In terms of the body, we just have movement at the midsection. You can move her all around. You can twist her, move her forward and back. So it does grant for a lot of movement there. In terms of the arms, you can move the arms just about all the way around, both of them, and they're going to go out that far. We do have rotation underneath the shoulder there at the bicep, single jointed elbow, but there's also rotation at the elbow. So let me bring this a little closer so you can see, you know, the elbow did rotate, which looks a little strange sometimes, but not the end of the world. The hands will go in and out, as you can see there, and they will rotate as well. Moving down on the body of this figure, the legs will kick out about that far. Not much going back, but in terms of splits, little, not as much as you might expect. And I think that is because of how it is molded. So yeah, there we go. We do have articulation at the calf there, at the thigh, and unlike the other one, like which I already mentioned, it is not part of the costume, so it's you see the whole costume move when you move it. We do have a double jointed knee. We do have foot articulation. It's going to go back and forth, and it will pivot as well. So not bad in terms of articulation. You know, we definitely have gotten updated female articulation on these bodies. We're going to be talking about that now with the new one. So we'll put the 2014 one back here. Here is my 2024 one. Now, first off, we do have head movement, and this head sculpt in particular will allow for a lot of looking around. Some up and down, not a whole lot, but if you pop the head off, you can see that we have just, you know, a ball joint that moves back and forth. So, you know, that's going to be how that head moves. In terms of the body, this is that, again, updated Black Widow style body, so we do have movement at the torso. She can twist, she can go, you know, up and down, but then there's also this crunch here, right by the sash, so you can really get her to go back or go forward, and that definitely helps with the movement, you know, posability. In terms of the arms, we have butterfly joints at the shoulders. Arms will go all the way around, and they'll go out about that far. We do have rotation right there at the bicep. We do have double jointed and pinless elbows, so deep bend there. We also have rotation here at the wrist, and the fist will go left and right. That is the same on both the arms. At the legs, we're going to kick out that much, not much on the back, but her legs will do some deeper splits than the old one. Like I mentioned, the rotation up here is underneath the legging piece, so it doesn't break up really how like the costume looks or anything. We do have double jointed pinless knee, so we get some deep bend in there as well. I realize that reviewing a figure in a black costume with a black background sometimes gets hard to see, so I'll try to hold it up as best as I can. We do have up and down at the foot as well as pivot. So, you know, really nice articulation on the new one. You know, we've taken this updated Black Widow body and, you know, we're applying this articulation style to new female Marvel Legends figures, and it really goes a long way. So it's not just because it's new, she really does have more articulation points. Our next round, round 2, goes to the 2024 version of Warbird. She's definitely going to be able to pose a little bit nicer than the 2014 version. round 3 is about the accessories that these figures came with, and this version of Warbird came with no other accessories unless you want to count the Captain America and the radioactive man that she came with in her set. But really, this is it. What you get is what you see. With our new Warbird, she comes with, you already saw it, but a secondary head sculpt. A lot of people I've been seeing have been painting this mask, or I'm sorry, the hair white and using it as a black cat head sculpt, and I honestly think that would look dynamite. I'm sure there is a difference between the two mask styles, because if you notice, it's a thicker mask on this head sculpt, while it's a thinner one on this. I don't know if it's just different time periods being drawn different ways. I am a little more partial to the thin sculpt with the hair blowing as opposed to this head sculpt, but you do have a spare head. You also have interchangeable hands, so there are just 2 open hands, which is common these days with Marvel Legends figures. I like her having the fists, and not necessarily just for punching, but because she has another set of accessories, which would be these power-up effects. And as you're probably used to by now from Marvel Legends, you can just kind of slide her fist through it and have them, have her being powered up, looking like she's about to blast somebody with some type of cosmic ray or something. But I really do like how these look on this figure in particular. I think they actually look very nice. I know in the past I've kind of sometimes, dismissed these power effects, but for some reason they're just really hitting me just right with this figure. So considering that she comes with accessories in general, but ones that actually look really good, round 3 is going to our 2024 Warbird. Again, she actually has accessories, and I think they really fit the figure well. For our 4th round, let's talk about price. The 2024 version of Warbird came in a 3-pack that was exclusive to Target, and when it came out, it was originally $50. And that feels so crazy saying that for a 3-pack 10 years ago, we got 3 figures for $50. I wish we were still paying that. That's a great price. But anyway, I'm not going to sit here and reminisce on old prices for too long. I did a little bit of research, and it seems like a lot of people are moving the old one. She seems to be going for, by herself, about $25 to $30 on the secondary market. I'm looking basically mostly on eBay, a little bit of some Facebook searches as well. So $25 to $30, maybe plus shipping, depending on what the seller's offering. You can get the 2014 version of Captain Marvel. The new one, if you can find her in stores, and I have to say, I'm exceedingly lucky that a friend of mine found her in a store. I missed the pre-order. I think a lot of us, we logged on ready to pre-order that day, and she was almost instantly sold out. So I didn't get the online pre-order. I only got it because my friend found this in a store. I have been looking, I will admit, but I was glad that my friend found one because I haven't seen one otherwise. So anyway, in stores, if you can find her, she's $25. The highest I've seen this go for online is about $40. It's the new hot figure. You're probably going to see the price kind of go up, from here, but 40 seems to be the highest at the moment. So really it's a question of, do you want to get an old one offline, or do you want to try to find a new one in store, or get it again off somebody online and pay a little higher? That's really up to you. I think the best bet, if you're solely concerned about price at the moment, is to go with the old one. I think once more people have the new one in their hands, they're probably going to be selling off the old one. So she might be the easier one to come by. So with that, I'm going to give round 4 to our 2014 version of Warbird. Again, just a couple dollars cheaper, but that might make a difference to some of you. For my last round, let's talk about the display compatibility of these figures. And the way I'm going to do this is I'm just going to take out some other Avengers that you would probably put her on a shelf with, and you can see what you think about how she looked next to them. So first, we're going to look at the Marvel Legends 25th Anniversary Captain America. This is one of my favorite Captain America figures, but looking at these two next to him, I think she looks a little more modern, so maybe she looks better next to him. But, this one also honestly looks a little big, in my opinion. But that's next to Cap. Let's get Cap out of here, and let's bring in somebody like Iron Man. There we go. Sometimes I feel like Iron Man figures are a little undersized for a guy in armor, but she looks a little big compared to Iron Man. So our 2024 one, I think, is a good size. But if we want to compare it next to somebody who maybe isn't in a suit of armor, let's put her next to Black Panther. And this was the Wakanda Forever wave Black Panther on the new Vulcan body. And, you know, they all look pretty good with this one. And finally, if we want to put her next to another female figure, let's put her next to the Black Widow figure, who shares a very similar body style. You know, it's not exact. There are some differences here. But, you know, we have them staying together. And, like, just comparing these people and kind of seeing who they might scale better with, I definitely think our 2024 Warbird looks better with this Black Widow. This one, now that I'm looking at it, almost seems a little oversized. Almost seems like it's a little out of proportion for the way Marvel Legends have been going. So, judging all of these together, yes, I am giving our round 5 to our new 2024 Warbird figure. So the 2024 Target exclusive Warbird definitely wins out on this version of which is better. I do find it strange that anytime we've gotten Warbird, Miss Marvel in this costume, she's been a Target exclusive since Hasbro has had the Marvel Legends license. I remember that Toy Biz did have one that wasn't exclusive to Target. It may have been exclusive to Walmart though. I forget if it was in that Giant Man wave, but that was a long time ago. I'm honestly shocked that we still haven't gotten an original costume, Miss Marvel, because being red and how Target exclusives normally have a lot of red to them, I'm just kind of surprised that we got it. But listen, you don't have to necessarily get rid of this old Miss Marvel or Warbird in your collection if you want to keep her around, because you know you could always have a mutant maybe come and steal some of her powers and have a display where perhaps a mutant is draining the power of said one Warbird. But, you know, maybe that's a topic for a different time. Anyway, let me know what you think of the new Marvel Legends Warbird figure or of the old one. Tell me which one you like better. Tell me if you agree with this or if you disagree with this. And either way, I hope you'd enjoy this video. If you are so inclined, give it a like. That always goes a long way. Until next time, I've been Dan. You've all been pretty awesome. Thanks for tuning in. Well, there we go. What did you think of this video? Sound off in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. Remember, we are making a push to get to 700 subscribers here on the channel. If we do that before the HasLab Giant Man arrives, I will be giving away the old Toy Biz Giant Man Build-A-Figure that you've seen on my shelf and things like that. So hit subscribe, leave a comment, hit like if you're so inclined, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Come geek out with us on the ride.